right, everyone, we're joined by Kyle Larson, driver of the number 5 Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. If you have a question for Kyle, please go ahead and raise your hand and we will get a mic to you.
Sweet.
We'll start on the back.
Kyle, how will your approach change this weekend knowing that you're the reigning champion and you've done this before, you've won here? Does that kind of change at all how you approach getting in the car this weekend?
No, not at all, I would say. You're just happy to be back, and, hopefully our cars is good again. I believe it should be fast, if not better than it was last year. So, hopefully we have a good practice, good qualifying tomorrow, and execute a good race on Sunday.
We'll go to Jordan.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. How does it feel to have a race like Dover where you guys had speed? It seemed like you had a relatively uneventful, clean race, and after kind of that little stretch there where it just kind of felt like things were just kept happening.
Yeah, it was good, and I knew that Dover would be a great opportunity for us to have a day like that, where we could just be clean all race long and have speed and, have things work out. But yeah, I mean, it got a little sketchy there when Bell spun. I thought I was going to get collected in that and be like, oh, well, just continuing on our bad finishes here. But no, it was good. So yeah, hopefully that's the beginning of us, if it kind of turn around for us. But, we'll see.
How would you describe Cliff Daniels on the radio in terms of communication style?
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know if he would be for everybody, but I really like it, and I think it. He does a great job of like keeping me focused and focus on the next task. When I sound mopey on the radio, he can kind of pick me up too, and he can also challenge me and pick out things that I'm not doing right, which I like. So having that relationship with your crew chief is important. Having trust between the two of you is important, and he's a great leader. He works really hard at it. He's really evolved his leadership. I think he's always been a great leader, but his leadership has evolved. Even since 2021, and he studies it. He works hard at it, and you can see it.
He is a little bit different than other crew chiefs. It seems like he can be a taskmaster, right? But he's also on the radio like very encouraging and motivational. How does that work for you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like that. I feel like he always knows when to say something, and it's usually, it's the right thing or what I need in that moment. So I think, we just have a great relationship when it comes to that, and we have a great sense of, or he has a great sense of, what I need from him as far as just words. So we've just worked really well together, and I have never had a crew chief like that in any of my racing before, and I didn't know how I would like it when I first came to Hendrick Motorsports, but I could tell very quickly that I was going to get along really well with him, and our we would gel well in competition.
We'll go to Alan.
Alan Cavana, TNT. For most of us looking at these corners, they look similar or even the same, but the more I talk to drivers, it sounds like they're different. Can you explain that, or how different all 4 corners really are?
Yeah, they are different. Overhead they look similar, but I just think, with kind of how the sun hits each corner and the wind direction and stuff, it can get different. So, turn 1 I feel like is a pretty, for your balance anyways, tight corner. It gets really kind of slick feeling off of turn 1. Turn 2 can be similar. Turn 2 is easy to get kind of lost on your entry because it's a much like wider visual corner with less grass and stuff over there. So it's easy to kind of get lost and miss your turn-ins and stuff over there. Turn 3 and 4 have more grip than this end of the track. Turn 3's got some bumps, and it's just feels like a faster corner. And then turn 4 is probably the easiest corner just because I feel like it gets the most shade and stuff and has the most grip. So, but yeah, each corner is definitely a lot different.
We'll go in the back corner.
Hey, Kyle, right here. I know you were asked about, your approach to this weekend being any different, having won last year, but what was, just driving into the track this morning, returning as the defending Brickyard 400 winner, does it feel any different coming in here, just kind of knowing what you experienced? Did it kind of, bring you back to any of those moments celebrating last year?
Well, I got here at about 2:45 in the morning, so I was just like, I didn't care. I just wanted to get in my bed. But always, I feel like, when I drive in here at night and looking at the top of the pagoda and seeing the flags all lit up is really cool. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's great to be back here in Indy and back in a stock car. Hopefully, I'll do a much better job than I did in May. But yeah, it's a privilege to get to run here and race this facility, and would love nothing more than to have a good run and hopefully, kind of put the bow on the double stuff with another Brickyard 400 win.
Kyle, Pat Jaggers, MRN, up to your left. Just looking forward to Iowa. What did you learn last year, and what do you expect?
Yeah, I think, our car was extremely good last year, and I was having a bit too much fun and put myself in a bad spot and got crashed. I would imagine that it's going to be quite a bit different, though. I mean, just, watching like the IndyCar race, the color of the pavement, the new pavement has changed quite a bit, so I'd imagine the grip level has changed. Whether it be more or less, I don't really know yet, but it's going to be different. So we'll see, though. Like I said, we were good last year, so hopefully we can be good again.
And the news of San Diego this past week, just your thoughts and hearing that we're going to be at a new street course and the innovations and everything that goes into that.
Yeah, I think that's, we've all heard the rumors for quite a while, and I was just hopeful that they were going to close the deal out and be able to bring us there. So I got to go a couple days ago, and it's awesome. Like I didn't get to see the track, but being on the the Navy base was really neat and much more different than I was expecting it all to look. So it's gonna be an awesome atmosphere, I'm sure. The Southern California fans are amazing and been starving for some NASCAR racing. So hopefully they all show up and it can be a massive event.
We'll go to Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Kyle, can you give us a sense of what these restarts are like and how maybe different they are? I'm assuming it's different because it's a more narrow track in a lot of ways, but obviously you had to go through it last year with going through the back, avoid some stuff, but there were a lot of things on restarts here last year.
Yeah, restarts, I would say when you're mid-pack to the back or so, maybe not even mid-pack, towards the front, it's the straightaways are so long, so there's there's drafting that happens. There's, a lot of time spent side drafting, which just slows you both down. So then there's always big runs coming behind you. And then late moves, into one or into three. So especially, into three on that first lap, I feel like it gets kind of thinned out by the time you get to four. But yeah, restarts are pretty hectic. It's the best opportunity to make up track position. So, guys are always ultra aggressive. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to try and, position your car in the right spot and make the best decisions.
And I know last year's race you benefited because the pit strategy, you had more fuel, so you weren't having to save as much. Obviously able to pass while others were saving. Still, how challenging was that? And what is it like, that advantage, or when you're having that disadvantage and having to save and somebody else isn't?
Yeah, no, it was nice being able to be on offense, throughout that run last year. It was still difficult to pass. I had to make a lot of super late moves to get those passes done. But yeah, thankfully the pace was just slow enough. It kind of kept the accordion on entry a little bit, there, and we were able to be really aggressive and make some of those moves. But I had gotten stuck, once I got to third or fourth. I wasn't gonna be able to pass my way to the lead. Tires had kind of equaled out at that point and whatnot, and then yeah, I just got some good fortune, so it worked out.
When you say late move, is that a sketchy move? Is that a daring move, or is that just, can you further define what when you? My guess is my definition of a late move is probably different than yours.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah, sure, it can be sketchy because it's like really late, like right as the guy in front of you is turning in the corner and you're kind of popping out, and I'm sure their spotters are screaming, inside, inside, or they're looking their mirrors and whatnot. But I don't know. Once you do it, it becomes less sketchy because you've gotten a rep at it. But no, it's just yeah. I mean, you're trying to catch people off guard. I really, so. I don't really know how to describe it that much.
We'll go in the middle.
Yeah, excuse me. Kyle Royacre, Skyview Sports. For many Cup drivers, they can just race on Sunday. They're satisfied. Obviously, you have a heavy schedule during the week. How do you feel like that contributes to you being, extra sharp on the weekend? Do you describe that for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be doing it as often as I do if I didn't believe that it helped me. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the more racing situations you can keep yourself in, the sharper you hopefully are. There's a balance though. I mean, it can get schedule-wise kind of grueling at times, when you're gone a lot, which my schedule's been wild this year. So just a few more weeks of dirt racing for me, and then I can just be a Cup guy again. But yeah, it's I don't know. It works for me. I don't know if it'll work for everybody, but I think staying busy and active and racing definitely works for me.
If I could have a follow-up. As far as earlier this year, High Limit was coincided to be at both Las Vegas and Texas. Is that something that you could possibly see here on this Brickyard weekend, or is that something you're keeping under wraps?
No, I mean, there hasn't really been any talks of that or anything. I would love it. I mean, I watched like the final restart last night of the sprint week stuff. It would be great. I mean, I don't know. It'd be a tiny track for wing sprint cars, but I feel like a lot of times when you get on a small track like that, it just creates chaos and fun and different winners and stuff like that. So I for sure would be open for it. I just, I'm sure there's a lot that goes on to make it happen.
Do we have any final questions? We'll go to Lee.
Just to follow up on that, what do you think about IMS expanding its dirt footprint here at the track and just kind of having that symbiotic relationship between grassroots, where it kind of all begins for a lot of people, and then people who become superstars like you, Justin Allgaier, and move up in the ranks?
Well, I think it's awesome, and this is, I mean, the most prestigious racetrack in the world. So, when you can add a form of racing into the walls of this place is, dirt racing is pretty cool. I saw a picture of Roger there last night, so I hope he enjoyed it. I hope, I don't think he loves dirt racing, but I hope he had a good time with it and can see the impact that it has on, grassroots racing, because it is important, to be a part of, a place like this. So, but yeah, no, it's been awesome to see kind of the BC39 grow to what it is, and I think it's got the potential to grow into the biggest midget race of the year. So that's exciting. I hope they can stick with it and keep investing in the race and maybe some other races and keep trying to grow grassroots racing.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks.